Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Castlevania Season 2, Episode 2. And yes, I know, I need to shave. I'm going to be shaving before I head out tonight to the bar and everything, but not the point. So yeah, we are getting into the second episode of this season, and so far with the first episode, pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed meeting these new characters such as Godbrand and all, and I can't wait to see what else this season has in store for us. Now, I have heard some mixed thoughts on this season, without knowing any spoilers and all, of course. I have heard some people say that it's not as good as Season 1 and that it takes a long time to really get going. And I've heard other people say that it really does wonders for its characters. And, again, I don't know any specific details or spoilers going into that, but honestly, from the first episode alone, I could see it going either of those ways, or even both of those ways. But I'm not going to have any preconceived notions based on these thoughts, these generic thoughts I've heard. I will judge it based on my own experience as I continue on. Yeah, I mean, because, let's be honest, with me, there have been a lot of times where I have not agreed with the opinions of other people. I mean, hell, I think that the DC Extended Universe movies are some of the best in superhero films. And for the most part, just overall, better than the MCU. So yeah, it's very clear that I don't have, that my judgments and my viewpoints on a lot of these kind of things on media and whatnot do not always align with everyone else's, even if I'm very much in the minority. And I don't care. I don't mind that. I don't mind loving the DC movies over the MCU movies. I don't mind hating Code Geass. And etc., etc. I don't care. I don't care not liking the Final Fantasy series. None of that stuff is really that big of a deal to me. It's just how I view it. And if other people disagree, then they disagree. That's part of being human. Having your own opinions, your own thoughts, your own subjective viewpoints. Not everybody is going to see everything the same. It's literally impossible. Because we have individuality, because we have our own separate minds, we cannot see things the same. Even people who are the closest in terms of their interests aren't exactly the same. There will always be some differences. So, yeah. It's just what have you. I'm going to watch this series, and I'm going to judge it for myself. The first season I thought was great. It was really entertaining, really fun, and I think it really served its purpose well. It wouldn't rank as like anywhere near my favorite shows of all time, but I still enjoyed it. And I'm hoping that Season 2 is even better. Or at least as good, you know. And if it does end up being not as good, then, oh well. No skin off my back, at least I've given it a chance, right? So, yeah. Now, like I said, I am going to the bar tonight because it's a Thursday, and I usually do on Thursdays. So, I do have to get to this, and I want to pre-record some stuff for this weekend because I don't want to have to force myself to pre-record everything, like, in one go tomorrow or Saturday or whatnot. So, we're going to get on with this. I know nothing about what's to come for this season. I know nothing about what's to come in this episode. I do hope the zombie pug returns, though, because that thing is adorable as fuck. So that being said, we're just going to get this started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so yeah, it's this Carmilla chick, which is a very, very common female vampire name. It's almost like she's trying to overthrow Dracula, or at least overthrow the generals, and win his favor. I don't fully understand what her goal is here yet, but she's stirring up trouble within the court. She's trying to influence the different members of the generals to try and like stir their hands and stuff. Like she's specifically in this episode, at the end there, she was appealing to Hector, and we see she's trying to also appeal to specifically Dracula and get him to do what she wants and what she thinks is best. But at the same time, we also saw that she seemed really, really shaken by the fact that there's a Belmont out there. Like, that really seemed to upset her. Like, you could see her face even kind of twisted. Her face is normally like this long, beautiful, well-shaped, well-kept looking face, right? Well, when she started, when she heard about the Belmont and started getting angry and yelling at the others and stuff, her face kind of looked like really twisted and really creepy looking, sunken almost. And the shape of her mouth even seemed to change a little. It's a very, very interesting way they've done that. But yeah, it almost seems like they're trying to, like she's trying to overthrow them or something. I'm not exactly sure, but that's kind of what it comes across as. Meanwhile, though, our heroes are heading towards the Belmont family home because there's this library underneath that could hold a lot of secrets for them and help them be able to, well, find out a way to fight back against Dracula and whatnot. And along the way, they come across these demons, which they fight off. One almost makes it back, though, and is found, and, well, of course, because of Isaac, they find out what happened. The bad guys do. So, yeah. We also see a little bit of fun banter between Trevor and Alucard, which I like. I like that they're having this fun little banter relationship where it's not like they actually hate each other or anything at the moment. It's just like they're kind of at that level where they're openly making fun of each other and teasing each other and whatnot, poking fun. I've had friends like that, and I've known other characters in other shows who are friends like that and stuff. But overall, this episode was more of, well, it was still kind of setting things up for what's to come. Because the first part, well, okay, the part with our heroes was setting them up and what they're going to be going to do at the moment. And what their main goal is for the time being. While the scenes with Dracula and his generals and all, and Carmilla now, is setting up this dissension among the ranks. It's setting up that things are changing in Dracula's ranks and everything. And that not everything is as clear-cut with even that. The first episode showed us how Dracula's ranks work and how the generals go about things and who's kind of in charge and whatnot, which Isaac and Hector. And the second episode shows more along the lines of, yeah, we're shaking things up already, because even with Dracula's armies, there's no guarantees. This Carmilla chick comes in and she's going to shake the foundations a bit. She clearly is not afraid of Dracula as well. That's another thing to note. She's willing to just speak her mind with him, even if it makes him legitimately pissed off. Like when she brought up his wife and everything, and questioned why he never turned her. So yeah, I am interested to see how this goes. I am very much interested. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say regarding this episode, because not a lot otherwise happened. It was, once again, very much a setup episode. And I think a lot of this is going to be this way. They're setting things up still. The first season was more to introduce us to Trevor and just how the world is following Lisa's death and Dracula's rage. The second season, I think, is setting up how these two forces are going to eventually come together, and it's showing us what's going on with both forces in order to prepare for that moment. I don't think we're going to actually have any big confrontations in Season 2. I think we're going to wait for Season 3 for that, which I believe has been confirmed. I'm not 100%, but I believe it has. So, yeah, that's just my guess, at least. But either way, yeah, I did still enjoy this. I thought it was a fun episode. And I do like this kind of stuff. I can definitely see where, like, you know, as I mentioned, some people had been saying it was kind of slow. I can see that. I can see why this would be kind of slow for some people. For me, I like this kind of stuff. I like it when you give development to the story, to the characters, to the factions, and really start to build something with it. I think that's actually impressive to me when it can be done right. And it's done so far right here. I mean, it could go south, it could, but so far, so good. So yeah, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Castlevania, and tell me just what you think of Carmilla, and do you think she's also trying to upset the balance of Dracula's forces and maybe even take over herself? Tell me your thoughts on all of that and more in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.